Good for them.
I did just want to speak a little bit on the NIT. You don't have to give your thoughts if you don't want to, Garrett. I understand it's just the NIT. But from my perspective, as an Auburn fan, if you're an Auburn fan, I do want to say that winning the NIT is a good thing. Obviously, it's not where you wanted to be. Nobody wanted to play in the NIT. The players didn't want to play in the NIT. But I think that's why it is so good. The players didn't want to be there, and Coach Pearl got behind his guys and said, I don't care if you want to be here or not. We are here. So we are going to give it our best, and we are going to try to win every single game. Granted, it wasn't a difficult slate. You know, you didn't have the toughest teams in the world. But at the end of the day, they won every game. They essentially dominated in every game without their starting center, who quit on the team because he didn't want to play in the NIT. I think it's a step in the right direction for Stephen Pearl, who had a rocky year with a subpar team, with a team that wasn't really good, with a team that never meshed well. And I think it was a huge step in the right direction for Stephen Pearl, setting himself up for success for the near future, for the lengthy future. And one thing I will say about the championship, Tulsa is no pushover. Tulsa had 8 losses this year, and Tulsa has won the last 2 NIT champions. So I do think it's kind of impressive, not totally impressive, but I think it's great momentum. You bring the energy in your program up. You got guys like Simon Walker, who has already announced he's returning. Guys like Kevin Overton, who had a huge game in the championship game. I think 25 points. Really a huge NIT tournament. Hit the game tying shot to send it to OT and hit an insane 30-footer in OT. So an extremely good guy to have coming back. You're gonna lose some guys like Filip Jovic entered the transfer portal. By the way, he was asking for $2 million. He averaged 6 points and 4 rebounds. I don't know who. Apparently, UCLA is willing to pay that to Filip Jovic because he signed today. But come on, bro, what are we doing? But even if we had nobody returning, right, and we had to start all over from scratch, and this was going to be Stephen Pearl's team next year, I think him going in as the first-year head coach with a top 5 toughest schedule in all of NCAA, playing in the SEC, I do think it's impressive that in his first year he found a way to win some form of tournament. I guess I said on the podcast, I'll be satisfied if we win. That's what I am. I'm satisfied. I'm not happy about it. I'm not sad about it. Just satisfied. It's good to see. I think it's a step in the right direction, and we'll see what we can build on from this.
Yeah, no, winning the NIT was good because losing the NIT was bad. So something has to be good, something has to be bad. It was good. You beat everybody in front of you, and at the end of the year, you have a trophy. And I think more than anything, like nobody cares about the games you won, like the teams you beat, like Auburn should be beating. Let's be real. I think it just speaks more to the culture that he got the guys to buy in to compete in the NIT. That's the benefit. Overall, like a successful tournament. Like I think if you're an Auburn fan, you don't need to see it as a successful season because the standard's supposed to be higher. Maybe from a culture standpoint down the stretch, like you are, like consider that a success. The way he was able to hone it back in, fully agree. From a season standpoint, not what you wanted. You want to see back in the tournament. Obviously, like fast forward a year from now, and if you're in the same position, that's a bigger problem. I fully expect Auburn's probably gonna be in the tournament next year, the big tournament. I don't think you keep them out twice. I think there's just too much talent, but we'll see. I mean, there's still a long way to go. A year ago, we were talking about Auburn was this close to potentially winning a national championship, and we saw everything that happened last offseason that nobody could have foreseen. Um, at least not me and you. Um, so long offseason ago, I guess I'll kind of shift this talk to. I remember last time, or yeah, last episode, you said that if Zahad were to return to college basketball, he would probably transfer. Do you have any kind of update on that at all?
The last I heard, which was I think yesterday, that things are trending upwards with Tahad. It's still up in the air, but I do think that if he were to return, Auburn still has a chance to get him. More so than I did when I said that.
All right, yeah, I think if I had to make a prediction right now, I think he's playing for Auburn next year. I don't know. We'll see. That's my prediction.
If I had to go off of gut feeling, I would agree.
I think, like if you get offers, I don't think he's gonna get the NBA scout grade that he would need
No,
to draw him,
no.
and it's solely just because of his size, and it's a stat class, and
Well, yeah, I think it's more of a stat class kind of thing. I think really where he was last year, his bar didn't really move, but because the draft class is so much better, his stock is gonna fall.
yeah, right. Um, so, and then when you're looking at offers, and the season ended the way it did, like winning the NIT and all that. If Auburn can give him a lucrative offer, which I think Auburn can match just about anything anyone else is going to give him, if they really wanted to. What's up?
Speaking on that, there was reports that Auburn is set to spend $13 million to assemble this basketball team.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean,
So I would agree that we can match just about whatever
yeah,
anybody's
for
willing
sure.
to offer Zahad Bedford.
Yeah, Auburn could definitely match. Um, it's like you ever seen the show growing up? Your parents ever watched the show Love It or List It? Yeah, have
What's
you
that?
at least heard of that show?
The house show?
Yeah, yeah. Like, somebody remodels your
Yeah,
house
yeah,
and
yeah.
then somebody tries to find you a new one. And almost all the time they decide to love the house like that they're already in.
Right.
Simply put, if you have a good offer, you're probably just gonna rather stay where you're at. It's so much more convenient. So I think because of that, I think Dahad comes back for another year at Auburn. But I will say about the 13 million, if 13 million gets spent on this basketball team and they do not make the tournament next year, it's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna be really uncomfortable. But of course, we got to see how it goes. You know, I think giving him 13 million is you really look at how he puts a team together.
Hmm.
Because I know one thing Kalen DeBoer's talked about is, like a lot of people say Alabama didn't do much in the portal, but he said like he was really harping on, yeah, we didn't go get much, but we made sure we didn't overspend for anybody who wasn't worth it. Making sure so. I think that really, I think you'll really see like, does he just go out there and just goes and gets guys and overspends and doesn't use the 13 million well, or does he go and spend 10 million but he used it to the max? Like I'd rather see him spend 10 million and spend it perfectly than you spend 13 but like just waste it on guys that really aren't deserved. For example, I forget who you said what his name was. 2 million, not worth it. Instantly the right call to not give him $2 million. So that's one step in the right direction.
Which I love Philippe. Philippe Jovic was a dog down the stretch. He definitely played important minutes. He definitely played big boy ball. But $2 million, I just don't think you can justify that. I do want to push back on one thing. You said you wouldn't call this a success of a season. I do think it's a minor success for the simple reasoning of, say we go into the NCAA tournament, right? We lose the first round. Does Dahad even have a chance of coming back? Does Kevin Overton come back? Does Elijah Freeman and some of these other guys, Austin Simmons, do these guys return? I do think from that aspect, roster retention, winning the IT was a success in that aspect. Because I think if we go into the NCAA tournament and lose first or second round, these guys that were predetermined in their mind gone, we're still going to leave. But since we went to the NIT and Stephen Pro got these guys to buy in and be competitive, I guarantee you at the beginning of the tournament, half those guys were thinking to themselves, I'm out of here. What are we doing in the NIT? I hate this place. I hate Stephen Pro. But I think he changed their mindset. He got them to buy in, and we won it all. And I think that changed some players' opinions on how they felt before it even started. So that would be my minor pushback. Obviously, it's not a success as a season as a whole, but I do think from that aspect in getting prepared for next year and roster retention, it is a minor success.
Yeah, I mean, obviously hindsight, we'll have to see exactly how that turns out. Do you think the rain jacket had anything to do with like guys wanting to stay, or do you think maybe it was a turnoff? Like, what do you, like the rain jacket had to do something?
I think the rain jacket, after a long time of thinking, I think the rain jacket came in because Kevin Overton simply just couldn't be stopped from three in the NIT. He was just letting it drain. It was raining out there for him. So I just think, Stephen Pearl had to be prepared for when Kevin Overton hopped on the court and he just had that raincoat on.
Being cautious. Fair enough. Being cautious. Hey, look, thinking ahead. Gotta give him where credit's due.
I know you didn't watch the NIT. I know you didn't. But did you at least see the clip of Kevin Overton shooting it from like 35 feet in the dude's face?
Nah.
I'm going to send that to you. It was definitely cold. I understand, but it was a cold shot. It was a cold shot. When I seen it, even the announcer before he shot, he was like, he's going to shoot this. It was pretty cold to me, is all I'm going to say.
I do have one question. So you said roster retention. I would say the talent wasn't an issue with this roster, but chemistry was. Is there any concern that, yes, you're bringing all these guys back, but what if they don't gel? Come like Auburn's going to play a tough schedule next year. They do every year. Welcome to the SEC. What if like maybe you have some downs and the chemistry doesn't really bounce back like it did in the NIT? Is there any real concern over that?
The guys I think were causing problems will not be there next year.
Okay. Yeah, I mean Keyshawn Hall.
I think Hall.
Did he?
Huh?
Hall played in the NIT, did he?
Yeah, he did. But I do think he was part of the problem. After what I saw from Keyshawn Murphy just quitting on the team, that leads me to believe that he might have been a locker room cancer.
Possibly.
Tahad, I'm shaky on Tahad. I don't think he's a cancer, but I also think that he's a winner at heart. I don't think he likes losing at all, and that might have ruffled some feathers to some other guys. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's what I want for my point guard. But when you already got guys disagreeing and you got Keyshawn Hall who wants the ball in his hands 24/7 and you got guys like Keyshawn Murphy who's willing to quit on the team when it doesn't go his way, and then you got Tahad Pettifer sitting there like, guys, what are we doing? I want to win. It just doesn't, mesh well. So I think all of the main problems of that meshing will be gone. We will see, though. Like I can't confirm anything, obviously. But me personally, I'm not too concerned.
Yeah. How big, like throughout this season, do you think? And this is a guy we both love. Like even though he's an Auburn guy, I think I've been very vocal. Like I love this guy. He's great, great energy, great teammate, great leader. How big of a difference would it have made to have a guy like Dylan Cardwell? Is that his last name?
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Cardwell on this team, because I feel like him alone could have just changed the chemistry of this team.
Cardwell, I mean, I have strong feelings for Dylan Cardwell. I think the number 44 shouldn't be retired, but it should be one of those honor numbers that you are picked to wear that number. I think Dylan Cardwell deserves that, first and foremost. I also think he's the truest Auburn guy that you can be. There's not a more Auburn. You can't find me a more Auburn guy than Dylan Cardwell. You add a guy like that with that much heart, with that much spirit, and obviously you see what he's doing in the NBA. a guy that went undrafted that everybody said he wouldn't be successful in the NBA, and even I had my doubts that he wouldn't translate to the NBA. You add a guy like that who's going to do whatever it takes for his team, who's going to do the dirty work, who's going to do whatever it takes to keep his team together. I think that would have changed a lot. I think you're looking at like maybe a 5-win swing just off of that alone. Not because of his play, but because he keeps the team together. He is one of those glue guys. He is the gel. And there were a lot of those games where because we didn't have chemistry and people wanted to be, like a ball hog or didn't want to pass to the next guy because they didn't like him or whatever the case may be, I think that could have changed a lot of different games. Now, obviously, that's just speculation, but I do think somebody like Dylan Carwell completely changes the outcome of the season.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Look at games. I mean, even going back to Houston, how close of a game it was. And, like, that's a physical, grinded out game. Like, does he make the difference in that game? Obviously, games like Mississippi State, that was close. Oklahoma, that was a close loss. Um, Bama, which was a close loss at home, like having him there, Ole Miss, which was a close loss at home, like those are swing games that just like little momentum. I feel like he was big on momentum plays. Like he made the right play at the
Mm-hmm.
right time, and then he'd do it with his hands, and the crowd would get into it. His team would get behind him. Like him just having one of those plays just could have flipped any of those games. So I agree. Like I think it could have been up to a 5 game swing, which would, I mean, let's be real, it would have been the difference between missing the tournament like you did versus not only making the tournament, but probably being a top 8 seed. And I'd probably pick Auburn to make it out of the first round if they were top 8 seed. So I think he would have made a huge difference. But that's just me out of respect for Dylan. And I mean, he's a great basketball player, but man, he teammate wise and leader wise, I mean, unmatched in college basketball over the past few years.
They don't make many Dylan Cardwells, I'll tell you that.